Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another vlog on the Racing Joker channel. Welcome to the second episode of the BMW M3 build project series. Doing a mod today already, but not a super big mod, more kind of a quality of life mod. Of course, as you guys know, this car is an SMG car, and a lot of people understandably have gripes with the transmission setup in this car, whether it's to do with how it drives or I guess reliability and maintenance and all that. But I've done my research, so I'm not too worried about reliability and maintenance. In terms of drivability, we're going to be fixing that today with a tune. And for today's tune, we're only going to need this KD-CAN cable supplied to us by Tuning Text by Frank Smith, TTFS, who's going to be doing the tune for this car remotely. And my wife's laptop, because awkwardly, my Apple laptop can't run the ProTuner software because it's 32-bit. They haven't updated it to 64 yet. And because Apple is run by terrible people, I think it's Catalina and later versions of the Mac operating system, they can't run 32-bit. They've removed support, so I couldn't open the app. So I spent freaking hours getting this thing to work. I had to remove antivirus software. I had to do all sorts of things. I had to use command prompt to install the drivers. This laptop doesn't run very fast. This is my wife's laptop. It's very simple. I'm hoping it can just barely do this so that we can get the files we need off of this car so we can send it over to the tuner so that they can modify it and then we can update the car. But before we do that, why should I even bother with upgrading the transmission tune? Well, I'll tell you why. It's for the purpose of improving shifting. Specifically, in my case. I mean, they use CSL-ish like parameters with a few twists, and it adds better upshifts, rev matching, and I think for launch control, the RPM is a bit higher, like in a CSL. We're not using launch control in this car because we want it to last as much as possible until we start doing the first actual race car mods and we have an actual daily, and this can be the project car. But for now, this has to be the daily, but I thought I'd do a couple mods just to make it fun in the meantime until we get a different car and until we start doing some crazy mods to this, which we will discuss what we're going to be doing to it in a later video. We also need to do a tech overview. So, anyways, why do I want the SMG tune? Well, for one, the SMG, when it comes to downshifting, doesn't do rev matching automatically. So when you have a stock SMG E46 M3. This is a very pristine example. This has only got less than 75,000 miles. I think it's 73,641. This car has only ever had 2 owners. Very nice example. Very pristine. Very cool. You see here, it's got the 2 pedals. I'll get out my phone for a flashlight. As you can see, it's only got the 2 pedals, and basically, normally, you know, when you press the rev matching button, it's kind of like driving a normal 6-speed manual with the clutch, except there's no clutch. So when you press the downshift button, if there's a drastic enough change in RPMs necessary to match the rotation speed of the new gear, you'll have to give the throttle a little bit of a blip. So if you press the downshift, and you're going from like 4th to 3rd and you're not actually slowing down, you'll have to give it a little bit of a blip so that when the clutch re-engages, it's all smooth. Otherwise, it will rub up and the clutch will adjust the engine speed with kind of a buck motion. Just like how when you're in a clutch manual car, you don't rev match. It's basically the same thing. So the SMG tune will make it so that we don't have to give it the blip when we're downshifting. And it will also improve upshifts as well. And it also eliminates the need for heel and toe. So let's get on with the install, well, not the install process, the first steps of getting the tune done. So first up, I'm going to set my phone to airplane mode because it's at 3% battery. I'm so prepared. It's been a heck of a day. I've had technology misbehave all day with today, so I'm so prepared. I'm so prepared. I also struggled to install Need for Speed Underground today. That was a heck of a lot of fun. Had to figure out how to get that to work on Windows 10. Apparently I needed a German version of the speed.exe file for reasons. And that got it to work, and I was worried the whole game was just going to be like, Ich bin nicht deiner Schnitzel the whole time. That's probably racist. And it's not. It's all in English, and it works, and it's HD. So I'm going to be playing Need for Speed Underground. So keep an eye out for that in like June or something. Okay, I need to get in the car. Gonna put the keys here. Gonna put the laptop here. Get the KD-CAN cable. Okay. I will now set you guys down right there. That's fine. So, I ordered the tune. It was 189 bucks, not including shipping or anything like that. USPS decided to really make me wonder if I was ever going to get my stuff, but that's what I get for ordering like a day before Christmas, I guess. I think I ordered December 26th, but they still decided to make me wonder if I was ever actually going to get this. They're like, your package is going to arrive late. So here is the part that goes into the OBD2 port, and this is the USB that goes into your computer with the Pro Tuner installed. Here's your key, or my keys. Are you ready? Are you ready to do some tuning? Excellent. So first, I'm going to get out my phone. I've got a checklist of things to do. All right, everybody. So here we've got our magical, super powerful laptop that is like about the size of my forearm or something. Let's open it up. Here we go. My wife's laptop. Behold the most powerful artifact in the world. We shall turn off that light. You want all of your lights and accessories off when you do the tune. Enter in my wife's password. It's BigFish69. It's not. Now when you download the tuner, it's going to have you do a whole bunch of updates and stuff. But if I press the zoom button, here we go. You can see we've got all the files. And what you're going to want to do when you download it, you put the files for the whole program, basically the Pro Tuner. You've got some drive installers in there if you have to install the drivers. I assume you are. That's what I had to use the CMD System 32 level install for. Doesn't matter. Do everything you've got to do. I assume your computer's going to work a lot better than this one, so I'm not going to talk about that. Open the Pro Tuner. Once you've put it into a folder called MB space Pro space Tuner as such, and I'll press enter. It will decide to eventually open the tuner, and I'm just got to be careful. I don't want to skip steps. Before you plug in the Pro Tuner, plug in the D-CAN cable into your OBD2 port. Your OBD2 port is going to be under here and underneath this area here. You just pull down the flap that you saw me open before, and just, I didn't even want to do night vision. Night vision, we have the technology. I think that's plugged in all the way. If I turn off night shot, it'll glow red, I think, when it's got good contact and a good connection. Then after that, we can sit back down in the car, plug the USB into your laptop. Or if you've somehow got a desktop computer in your garage, you can do that too. Whatever floats your fancy boat. Thank God this computer has USB ports. Now, like I said, make sure all accessories are off. Lights, radio, etc., air conditioning. Then what you're going to do is you're going to not start the car, but put it into the second key ignition, not starting the engine, your second position. Then after that, then you can open the Pro Tuner, okay? Hopefully this works. There's no way for me to be absolutely sure this is going to work first try. Nothing has worked first try today, so let's, fingers crossed, everybody. Run as administrator. I'm going to press yes. And there we go. So if I zoom in again, I'd like you to pay attention to the fact that, for one, it opened and it didn't say, it might say you need to update, do that. This little green square here says that we've got a good connection to the car. Now, first things first, we got read DME, reflash DME, and collect license. The first thing we are going to do is the bottom one, which is collect license. Normally I just do a screen capture, but obviously this computer doesn't have screen capture software. So we're doing that. It wants us to now enter my name. So I'm just going to write my name, John Cena. It's not my name. You wouldn't be able to see me if that were the case. So then, once you've done that, it will make a file right here, which is a .lic file. It basically made that license file there. That's the first step. After that, you want to click Read DME. And it will start gathering information. It might take a little bit, 2%, 3%, 4%. I'll get back to you when it's a lot closer to being done. We're just going to let that sit and do that. Okay, so it's done. If I can show you here, it's all good, done, green, and it asked me for a name for the file it was making. I just let it choose the basic file name. If I zoom in again, what it did is it made this file right here, ProTune binary read.enc. It would have been fun if it was EMC. Einstein would be proud. We could call this car the Einstein. That's not what we're going to call it, but bad science jokes. So we're basically done with doing any of the software in the laptop and the car. And now the cool part. I really like this setup. Car's beeping at me. I really like the way TTFS has got this set up, because you don't have to pay an hourly rate for like a Pro Tune or anything like that. This is basically their version of an off-the-shelf tune, where basically you pay mostly for the wire, you pay a little bit of extra money for the tune, nothing else except for maybe tax and shipping. You download their software. You don't use a Pro Tuner software of your own. You get the license file, the ENC file, or DME, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know the difference. I'm not a tuner. You get all the files you need. You email them over to them, which is what we're about to do. I'll show you how that works. They'll email the modified versions back to you. You do all the steps we just did, where we put the key ignition, we put the key into the second position, and we basically use the new modified files to flash the car to its new settings, and suddenly you've got a tuned E46 M3, which is awesome. And this car has never been modified, so that's very cool. It's, you know, like I said, 70,000 miles, 2 previous owners, fully stock condition, pristine. I mean, look at the steering wheel. There's nothing wrong with it. And yeah, you guys already know about the GTR stuff I want to do with the car, but all that stuff is so expensive. So in the meantime, while we save up for that, we're going to do a couple mods. We were doing this transmission tune, and we're also going to do some exhaust stuff. And then we're going to enjoy the car and its S54 glory before we do some crazy stuff. So now that we've got the files, we've got the ENC file and the LIC file, we're going to go upstairs, back into the house where it's warm, and we are going to email them the files, and then we'll get back to you when they give us the modified files back, which should take, I guess, 1 or 2 days. If it happens faster, that's fantastic. So let's go upstairs. Let me get out of the car. We're going to unplug the KD CAN cable, grab the laptop with the files on it, close the door, close the garage. Perfect. And then we are going to lock the car. I love that sound. All right, here we go. We are going to attempt. Excellent. We are going to attempt to log into my email on this ultimately powerful computer. The computer had to be turned back on for some reason. Not sure why. So like I said before, once you've got the files, we've got the ENC file here and the .lic file here. What we're going to do now is we're going to email info@tuningtechfs.com, include your name and the type of tune. In this case, my name is Thomas Wood, which my name doesn't change regardless of the case. And we are doing an SMG tune. And what we're going to do is attach the files. Go to desktop where we've got the files. Go to old files. I've already called it that because that's what they're going to be when they give us the new modified files. They're attaching, and there we go. I don't know if it really matters if you say anything. I thought I'd just say I'm excited to get this done. And I'm very excited to see how it turns out. Send it to them. And then basically that's it. Then you've just got to wait for them to send the modified files back to you, where then you'll download them and install them on the car. We're going to be showing that in a future clip. First, I'm going to show you tomorrow in the next clip how the SMG transmission drives without the tune, show you how downshifts work, because that's mainly what matters, show you a couple upshifts and things like that. I'm not going to show you launch control because I'm not launching the car. And yeah, see you in the next clip. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another clip of the vlog. We are here in the M3. I'm on my way to work, as you can see by my blue shirt, and I am going to demonstrate to you how downshifting works with the SMG in stock condition with no rev matching tune or anything like that. Right now, it's in automatic mode. It just shifted into 6th. I put it into automatic so it'll be easier to drive and vlog at the same time. Basically, like I said before, the way it works is in stock condition, the SMG transmission, when you downshift, you still have to do a throttle blip like how you normally would when you're in a normal 3-pedal, 6-speed manual or 5-speed manual, whatever type car. The tune will obviously fix that. We're going to be looking forward to getting that file from TTFS in a day or two. So I'm going to demonstrate downshifting to you guys right now. First, I'm going to show it to you guys without doing a throttle blip myself. We're just going to let the car downshift without any assistance from me. All right, we're going on to this exit right here. We're not going very fast. We're going 55 down to 5th. So that's pretty smooth because the RPM difference isn't that big. Let's go down to 4th. All right, that's fine. Down to 6th. Down to 2nd. So you see, it didn't do a throttle blip there. That signal off. Now, if we go around this corner here, and let's say I want to be at a higher RPM for some reason, it will kind of just rub the clutch together. You'll basically just feel the clutch rubbing and the RPMs adjusting via that instead of a throttle blip. I'm not super mechanically inclined, but I'm hoping what I'm saying makes sense. What you're supposed to do is when you downshift, you do a blip yourself. All right, now let's go down this 2nd. See, that's much better. So hopefully, the tune will solve that issue. That said, if there wasn't such thing as like a rev match tune for this transmission, it's not unbearable. Like, driving the car in automatic or in manual, it's fine. It's not like I'm trying to compromise and say like, you know what, I can handle it, I can deal with it, it's not perfect or whatever. It's obviously not perfect, it's a very early paddle shift gearbox, but it's not horrible. Having the rev match yourself is not like a terrible thing. So obviously the upshifts are a little slow, but I do have it in aggressive mode 3, so it's not going to be super fast, because I'm told that when you put it into anything like 4, 5, or 6, like S5 or 6 is going to damage the transmission, and I don't want to do that, because as we all know, obviously fixing one of these, I think it's a Getrag gearbox, or the SMG components can be quite pricey. But this tune will be a good temporary thing to help me enjoy the car a little bit more until we eventually put a dual clutch into this car. Got the WRX hat there. Do I need a BMW hat? I just feel like I'd look weird with a BMW hat. I feel like that's the thing you expect all BMW owners to have, is a BMW hat. Oh, I actually left the computer outside. Welcome back. We are back in the E46 M3. Let me grab the laptop. I put it on the roof. We got the OBD2 wire. We're doing this in the daylight and outside, which is better than how we started this. I can open the sunroof to see where the laptop is. All right. Okay. I accidentally opened Outlook. Welcome. All right. We got the files. We're on to the next step. So when you receive the new ProTune files, it's an ENC file and a .key file using WinOls, I think is how you pronounce it, WINOLS, which is, I guess, the software they use to do the tune, which I think is also what Ahmed at Habibi Motorsport would use if he were to tune this car as well, which is cool, and we can talk about that a little later, why we haven't just immediately taken this to Habibi Motorsport. I'll tell you why, but first, let's just go through the steps. We're going to do the tuning ourselves today. Famous last words. So if I zoom in here, as you can see, if you look at my email, please don't spam me, we've got the tune, the ENC file, and the .key file. You download those, and then you do what I did, is you put them into a folder. I called it new files. I have another folder called old files. Here they both are, the key file and the ENC file. And we're going to open up the tuner and also zoom out. And actually, before you even, just as a good habit, before you even open the tuner, make sure you put the key into the second position. Don't start the engine. Already done this. Make sure air conditioning is off. Make sure accessories are off. So turn off lights. 31 degrees outside. Doesn't really feel like it. Feels fine to me. I think, oh no, turn the monitor off. Close everything, make sure all lights are off. Everything looks good. Now I'm going to open the software. ProTuner M3. I wouldn't really call myself a Pro Tuner. Let's get out the OBD2 K-Decan wire. This from before. And what we're gonna do, plug this into the OBD2 port like before. Like we saw before, if there's a red light, it means there's a good connection. I can show you. Make sure you see that light. Means it has a good connection. You let your wife with your baby get in the car because she's here for some reason. Okay, and then what you do, once you've plugged that into the car, you plug the USB end of the wire into your laptop. If you struggle with this like me, I'm sorry. And then what you do is you zoom in with your camera for your tutorial, and just like before, the green square there means you've got a good connection with your car. And then what you do is in the software, you zoom in again, just so I can make sure you guys can read this. You click reflash DME. So let's click on that. Are you sure you want to reflash your DME? Yeah. Wouldn't be making this video if I wasn't sure. And then you want to find the new ENC file. You select it, and it starts requesting the information and doing all the stages, and it should start. It's doing stuff. This DME is unregistered, detected. What do you mean it's on? Oh, do I need? Oh, I'm sorry. So don't put your files into a folder separate from your license file and all that. So I'm gonna move it from the new files into the location where the old files are. Am I doing something wrong here? I know, Ellie. It's a bit confusing. Run as administrator. What file did I just select, actually? Okay, so I think it worked. We're gonna see. It's doing the upgrade. It's got the progress bar. I think I selected the right file. There we go. So now it's flashing the car and changing the settings of the actual car's computer. So there we go. We will see. So it's going pretty quickly, so we'll find out. We'll find out which file I used in a second. Okay, here we go. Please key off the vehicle for 10 seconds, then key back on. I would take the key out all the way. 1, 2, 3. All right. We're gonna key the car back on and press OK. Upgrade successful. We're gonna see if we can start the car. Off. Best way to check. We're not gonna actually go anywhere because the door's open, but let's put it. Doesn't like me doing this with the door open. We're in neutral. Foot on the brake. Put it into gear. That works. That works. Everything seems to work, so now I just need to take it for a test drive after it warms up, as indicated by the lights on the dash there. Let's put it into gear. Let's get out of here. We're gonna do all of this in manual for now. We'll also test out automatic mode and see how it does. Right now we have the aggressiveness setting set at 3. We're gonna see how it handles that. Here we go. That felt okay. Now here's the moment of truth, is the downshift. Let's hope I did this correctly, and it should do it automatically. I'm not going to do any rev matching. Okay, well it tried to do it. Let's set the aggressiveness setting to 5. Let's try again. I think it needs to be in... Interesting. So maybe it needs to be in a higher aggressiveness setting. Again, when it comes to the rest of this video, I'm not an expert. Now I'm just kind of demoing how it works. Because the main attraction for me for this whole tune is to improve the gear changes, especially the downshifts. Okay, here we go. Oh, that was pretty good. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive the car around just a little bit, and we're going to let the engine kind of warm up, just a little. Okay, so I just pulled over, I stopped the car, turned it off and turned it back on. There was a light here, you may have noticed it, a gear symbol with an exclamation point, which immediately made me go, nah. So I'm hoping the tune didn't cause that, because third gear disappeared. I have really bad luck with third gear. So we're gonna try and document this again. The light's gone. We're not gonna be in the highest aggressive shifting mode this time. And we're gonna see if we can shift into third gear. If not, we've got an issue, and I might have to flash back to the original file. We got second. There's third. And now we're fine, as far as I can tell. Will the downshift break it? Okay. That was a bit disconcerting. I don't know if that was to do with the tune or just maybe the health of the car, which might be in question. I'm not sure. Difficult to say. But the auto rev match works. Here, let's roll down the window, because as you can see, rule number 1 of the automotive Bible: You gotta do that. You definitely gotta do that. So the tune seems to work. Cool. Now we just gotta figure out what exhaust mods we want to do with the car. And I've got a couple ideas. Some cool ideas, actually, I think you'll find. Herschel Brewer, good friend, owner of Scottsdale Motorsports down in Phoenix, Arizona. I think it's Phoenix. And he might be able to hook us up with some very special parts. So I've been toying around with all sorts of ideas. I know I did a poll, potholes. I did a poll very recently about whether to do a built S54 or just do the S65 swap. Here's the thing. The S65 swap is something I definitely want to do, but it's very expensive and it doesn't get the sound I immediately want to have. And I need this car to be somewhat daily drivable. So I think what I'm going to do, I appreciate your guys' input, but what I'm going to do instead is we are going to be doing a blend between the BMW M3 CSL and the BMW M3 GT race cars, the GT2 cars, which means we are going to be using CSL parts, real genuine CSL parts, and some real genuine race car parts. Nothing as insane as the race car headers, because those are made of Inconel and they cost $10,000. Unless if you guys really donate me lots and lots of money, I'm not buying $10,000 headers anytime soon. Because instead, the first GTR mods we're going to do are wheels, some exterior mods, and then eventually the body kit. And we can talk more about that in a video where I overview the plan for the car. But first, we're going to be doing some CSL stuff, I think. So that's going to involve camshafts, carbon fiber intake, and Herschel Brewer is the man, and he says he can hook us up with genuine CSL headers, which are different from the Euro headers. I think they're a little thicker and they're a little different. And he can also hook us up with a CSL Section 1 piece, which has both a resonator and a cat in it. I've talked about this before. So we would have a catalytic converter in the Section 1 rather than in the headers, and we'd have the CSL headers, which are catless, which means if we ever wanted to decat the car, we just have to swap out the Section 1 piece. And we'd have the CSL Section 1 on standby to pass emissions if we need to. Just don't. Shh. That's really cool. So I think we're going to be using CSL exhaust parts, but then for the muffler, we're going to use the Rogue Engineering El Diablo muffler. And I think that's going to sound fantastic because we're going to be using not a knockoff carbon fiber intake. We're going to be using a genuine BMW M3 CSL carbon fiber intake. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. It's like an $8,000 or $9,000 part, but it's genuine. It works, it sounds fantastic, and it will make the engine bay gorgeous. And we can also replace, you know, the part where it says BMW M in the engine bay, we can also replace that with something off of the PTG, and I think even the Schnitzer race cars, with a genuine race car carbon fiber cover to go along with the carbon fiber intake to make the engine bay look fantastic. And get this. That part, the carbon fiber coil pack cover, basically, it's not a cam cover, but it's basically like one, like on an RB26. We can replace that and put that on this car, and this will be the first and only road car in the world to ever have one of those parts in its engine bay. And so we'll have the carbon fiber CSL intake, carbon fiber intake. We also have the option of getting one from the P54s, from one of the race cars, but I decided just to stick with the CSL because they're very similar. They look exactly the same. They're slightly different, but I figured we'd go with the street car one because this is a street car and it's always going to be a street car that just looks like a race car. So that's going to be cool. So we're going to bring the car back. It's still behaving. The rev matching is still working. I'm going to keep an eye on third gear. I wasn't expecting it to misbehave like that. My last car had issues with third gear, so I really hope my bad luck hasn't continued from there. All right, we're going to try and downshift into third. For the most part, it's fine. And I no longer have to do the blip myself, so that's cool. So that will make drives to work more fun. It doesn't behave like the ZF gearbox in more modern, like, series cars, not M cars, because obviously those have the dual clutch. If you guys think I should put a dual clutch in this car, let me know. Or if I should just wait, keep the SMG, and save up for a Hollinger or something like that. You know, a Hollinger is cool, or a Hewland. A Hewland gearbox could be good, because the Hewlands were what were used on the P54 race cars before they put the P60 B40 V8 into the E46 M3 race chassis, and those had the very loud straight cut gears. So maybe that's a good idea, because you guys love the straight cut gears, and this car, the straight cut gears. Hard to say no to that, right? But it's also hard to say no to this sound, I've got to say. This is stock exhaust. There is a rev limiter at 6,000 RPMs when you're just in neutral. So if you want to rev, you know, freely in neutral, you have to be moving. So if I go into neutral, then it lets me do it. And now it's put me into third. Excellent. But don't worry, I'm also going to give you a little bit of exhaust sounds just to end off the vlog. And also, sorry for not uploading many videos. Just been taking a break and trying to figure out how to reformat the channel. I'm going to try and record... I'm going to close the window. I'm just going to try and record a tech tour sometime this week when I have the chance. Might not be able to do it all in one sitting. And we're also going to do another video detailing the M3 GTR build plans. We'll talk more about it in a future video, but first, let's park this mother hubbard. I'm going to try and swear less for this year and see if I can do that. And let's do some exhaust sounds. You can really hear the rasp that I've talked about in the past, because it's stock exhaust. All right, so now let's open the hood. I'm going to tell you a couple things. Ah, nice. Here is my engine bay. I'm not going to touch anything because I don't want my hands to burn, spontaneously combust. So this thing here, well, the heat's kind of defrosting my hand in this 30-degree weather. This is the piece that Herschel said he could probably get us from one of the race cars. I think it's, I don't know if it's PTG only. Could have been used on the Schnitzer cars as well. But this kind of coil pack or cam cover type thing is what would be replaced with carbon fiber, genuine carbon fiber, and it would look fantastic next to the CCL carbon intake that would go here. And that would be just the most gorgeous engine bay in a street car ever, in my opinion. I know it's not like the big V8, it's just a big thing, and then a big intake here. Because if it were the S65, it would be the V8, and then we'd have the intake here. It would be about as big as this one, except maybe a little bigger. But I think that would be a great start. And then another thing that we can get off the race cars, kind of a much smaller thing, is if we open here, is that we could replace the pedals with real, like, $900 carbon fiber pedals straight out of the BMW M3 GTR. I'm not even kidding. Herschel Brewer could hook us up with BMW M3 GTR pedals, carbon fiber, official BMW Factory Works parts. So that would be neat. Let's get my phone out of there. But yeah, I think the next video I'm going to make is going to be the M3 GTR plan video, because I seem to have this urge to tell you guys what I want to do with this car. So I think that's what I'm going to do next. So you guys can look forward to that. And I can look forward to that, because that is going to be a fun video to make. But it's very cold, so I'm going to end off the video. So thank you guys so much for watching today's vlog, BMW M3 project video. Here's the car. That's not the plate, the final plate. You guys voted on a plate kind of style. We're getting a vanity plate, custom plate, and you guys voted for black pearl, and we're gonna order those plates for this car, put it on here, because you guys thought black car, black interior, black pearl seems to make sense. It even won over Wild Card, which was initially going to be the code name for this car, but instead this is the black pearl, which is funny because I didn't even think of this until after you guys voted for it. The car used for Brian's Skyline in Too Fast, Too Furious, the hero car, was called Blackbird. So to have my dream car be called Black Pearl, that's kind of funny. So, weird coincidence. Here is the Black Pearl. This will be the M3 GTR project car. And we can talk about that in the next video. Thank you all for watching. I am Tom, the Racing Joker, and I'll see you all next time. Sorry for the delay. We're doing at least one M3 video every 7 days. Hopefully I can keep to that, because, man, I've been commuting with this car every day. I get to live with this car 24/7, and it is so much fun. It is the best car I've ever driven. I've been in a C7 Grand Sport. I've had the WRX. I've been in more modern BMWs. I've been in M4s. I've been in an R35 GTR. This car is for life. I don't care if it has horrible defects hidden under the bonnet somewhere. We're getting it inspected this upcoming Friday. I don't care what's wrong with it. This car is mine, and it's going to be that way forever. I don't care if it tries to kill me. Anyways, if you like what you've seen so far, then you will love what I've got planned. So be sure to join the TRJ crew. Boop.